the 11th, I think. It is in Canada, it is Thanksgiving. Anyway, so I got up this morning. I didn't get up too early. I didn't get up till about 8:30 or 9. And I made the stuffing from a box. I don't need to make it from a box, but I like to stuff from a box. So I used 2 boxes and I stuffed the turkey. I put twice as much stuffing as I need. And I didn't know the house was back there. Nice colors. However, they're falling off. The leaves are going. It's past this prime. You've seen the best. Anyway, so I stuffed my turkey, and what I do when I make a turkey, my mother taught me this over the telephone when I lived in Canada and she lived in the United States. I don't think I have been home for Thanksgiving to my parents in 32 years, or maybe even more, maybe 32 years. Since 1976 was the last time I was home for Thanksgiving at my parents'. My brother and sister have always gone, but I've always lived far, far, far away, and finances have not always allowed me to do such things. And now I have lots of children, so I would rather be with my kids. Anyway, so she taught me to take the turkey, or take potatoes. You take a pan. You can use a roaster or whatever. I just had a baking dish, so I used that. I cut my potatoes in half, my big raw potatoes, and then I put them upside down and in the pan, and then I stuck my turkey on top of it. So the flat part of the potatoes was down, so that the potatoes will cook underneath the turkey.
Turn right on Sheridan Road.
I also put some carrots. I cut up carrots and I put them down there with the potatoes. And then I put the turkey on top of it, and I stuffed it in the neck and in the other thing, and I put the legs under that loop of skin. You know, if you do your own turkeys, if you raise your own, you probably don't have that piece of skin that goes over the legs. It's really hard to do your turkey the way they do them. I used to raise turkeys and all that. Anyway, so and then I've been making. So I had that in the oven right away. I covered it with aluminum foil. I put lots of aluminum foil over it so that the moisture from the turkey, actually it's the extra moisture from the stuffing, that will. Anyway, I hope to steam the turkey instead of. I don't. What is that? Something up behind that building. I think it might be a kennel. That must have been a dog. It looked like a horse, but it was behind the trees and you couldn't see it. Anyway, so I made my turkey and I put it in the oven, and I put it in at 325 until it's done. And I know when it's done because you wiggle a leg and the leg will completely fall off. That's when it's done. And if you want to darken up the top, I would take the aluminum foil off when it's at the wiggling the thing and it falls off stage. If the leg doesn't fall off when you wiggle it and the skin's split open, then it's going to be a bit tough. And I don't want my turkey tough. I like my turkey to melt in my mouth. I like brown meat best. No, I don't like white meat. White meat is too dry. I like brown meat. Jack Sprat could eat no fat. His wife could eat no lean. And so betwixt the both, you see, lick the platter clean. Okay, so that's how I make turkey. And now I made a big pile of pie crust. And with my make pie crust, I use a pile of flour and a third as much butter. And I use frozen butter, and I slice it, and it breaks into little bits as you slice frozen butter. And then I use the thing to cut it, my pastry cutter. So I'll cut it a little bit with that. And then I take a cup of a measuring cup, and into it I put an egg, and then I put a tablespoon of vinegar, and then I fill it up with water, and I add that ice water. I use that and stir it as I add it, and then when it's got enough, I stop adding it, or maybe it'll need more
Turn left
ice
on
water after that.
Session.
So I don't worry about if I'm going to waste some of it or not. Anyway, and also when I'm making my pie crust, my flour, I put baking powder in with my flour. You know how it is with baking powder. It's a half a teaspoon per cup or something. So I do that, and I also add some salt because I didn't use salted butter. Okay, so then that is my pie crust. And then I made pumpkin pie. I used Stokely's can of pumpkin because it was on sale. Oh, look at pretty. I have to look at how pretty it is. We'll just zoom in on the distance first. That's right, this is the distance. I've been to the distance. Have you been to the distance? Distance is a nice place. Oops. We were on the top of the world looking down on creation. Okay, so then I follow the recipe with Stokely on the can for the pumpkin pie. Always turns out good. I always use the recipe on the can. Even when I'm using my own pumpkin, I use the recipe on the can. Because I wrote it down in my cookbook. That's how come I can do that. Okay, and now I have more pie crust. Oh, when you're rolling out your pie crust, you have to use a floured surface. You keep turning your pie crust. Keep turning it over, turning it. And first you make a ball, and then you smash it out sort of flat, and then you roll it. Anyway, and put your pumpkin in it and cook it at 450 for 20 minutes, and then turn it down to 350 for 20 more minutes. And then the rest of my pie crust, it's in the bowl, which is now in the pans, I used to make lemon meringue pie. So I'm going to go home and make lemon meringue pie soon. Okay, see you later. Bye.